What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again for another Manchester City video where, once more, we've got information. I feel like I'm doing daily Manchester City transfer updates right now. Whilst the information's coming out, I'll be doing the videos, but guaranteed from June 1st, daily Manchester City transfer updates for you guys to enjoy. So if you haven't already, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date here on YouTube every single day with all the latest City transfer news. It's going to be a busy one this summer, so you do want to stay in the loop. Subscribing is the easiest way to do that. As I said, it is free. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. We're aiming for 700 likes. Any help towards that would be much appreciated, and do get your thoughts as well in the comments below. So with no contract news, we're going to dive straight on in with the outs, and we've got a quick update on Manchester City goalkeeper Ederson. And the Athletic have said today that there is a strong chance that Ederson leaves Manchester City this summer. Don't think that's a surprise to anybody. I am expecting Ederson to leave the club. More than likely it will be a move to Saudi Arabia. It was something that Ederson explored last summer. No club was willing to pay the price for Ederson last summer, so that move never materialised. So I'm expecting for that interest to come back once more this summer, and I'm expecting some kind of deal to be arranged with one of the Saudi Arabian teams. It is quite quiet on the goalkeeping talk right now at Manchester City, but my expectation is that at least one goalkeeper will leave the club this summer, and that goalkeeper more than likely will be Ederson, and I'm expecting a new number one to be brought in by Manchester City. We saw strong links at the beginning of this month with Diogo Costa from FC Porto. That stance could change, but as of right now, he is the goalkeeper I think that Man City will be targeting to replace Ederson, but I'm not expecting much movement on this until Manchester City actually do get an offer in for Ederson. And before we get that, we'll start to get all the rumours of a club being linked with a move for Ederson, agreeing personal terms, thinking about a deal, and sorting out and crunching numbers ready for that offer to come in. So still some way when it comes to a goalkeeper leaving City and City signing a goalkeeper, but the Athletic are saying they're expecting Ederson to leave the club in the upcoming transfer window. Still remains to be seen what's going to happen with Man City's other goalkeeper, Stefan Ortega Moreno, Manchester City's backup number 2 choice. Now moving on to the id, we of course have an update on the Florian Wirtz Saga. Now Bayern sporting director has said that he knows the facts. There are lots of speculation, and it is just that, media gossip and speculation. He said that Florian Wirtz is free to travel on holiday wherever he wants. If he wants to go and meet up with friends and have discussions, then he can go and do so. He specifically mentioned if Florian Wirtz wants to go to Manchester, to Liverpool or to Madrid, he can. They were all named by the Bayern sporting director, so he's well aware of the links, he's well aware of the situation. He says he's not bothered. He says he knows the facts, and he's going to be sticking with the facts. We're still waiting to see what these facts are. I found that comment really interesting though, because I like to read between lines when it comes to transfers, and Bayern Munich over the last week or so have been not so much on the ropes, but looked a little more concerned about this transfer than what they looked a couple of weeks ago when all the information was being leaked about an agreement being put in place with the player. And I think Bayern Munich are banking everything on this transfer, with the player being keen on that move to Bayern Munich and Bayern Munich alone, and he only wants to join them and nobody else yet. Some games are being played between Bayer Leverkusen, Florian Wirtz's camp, and sources close to Bayern Munich in saying lots of different things, and it makes it very difficult to decide what is fact and what is fiction. And I'm judging here based on what a lot of other German players tend to do, and they will have an incredible influence on this transfer, because I can guarantee you that Thomas Muller, even though he's leaving Bayern Munich, will be very much in contact with Florian Wirtz, Leroy Sané, Jamal Musiala, lots of the German national team. A lot of them play for Bayern Munich. They'll be on the phone, they'll be speaking with Florian Wirtz, they'll know him from the international duty, they'll know from playing him at various points in the season in Germany as well. They'll be using all of of their power to convince Florian Wirtz to join them. So they'll feel like they've got a certain amount of control when it comes to the player aspect of things, and speaking with his entourage and his father and convincing him to stay in Germany, because let's face it, most of the time when it comes to high quality German prospects, they tend to stay in Germany and play in Germany, and I'd be very surprised if this was different. So when these stories came out about Man City and Liverpool and flying him over and meeting with him and stuff, it was all very exciting. But once you've had a couple of days to sit on it and really start to think about it, I've started to just draw up some conclusions from this transfer. So firstly, I just want to speak about what Christian Falk has said about this transfer today, because he said that Liverpool are now ahead in the race to sign Florian Wirtz from Bayer Leverkusen ahead of Manchester City. Again, I just feel like some games are being played here. I feel like there's an effort being put in here to try and get Manchester City to pay some more money, to pay more than Liverpool, to convince Florian Wirtz to pick us over them. And then once they've got everything shored up from England and it's been identified that there's only one team in England interested, will it be City, will it be Liverpool, will it be somebody else? I won't be surprised to see Chelsea and Man United's name being chucked out there in the coming days, because my conclusion is the big hiccup in this transfer is this fee being agreed between Bayern Munich and Bayer Leverkusen. And so at the moment you're getting all these parties doing everything they can to try and get their own way. Eventually something will give, and it's either Bayern Munich are going to have to pay a heck of a lot more money to make this transfer happen, or be patient and more lenient to make this transfer happen. And if they don't, just how far is Florian Wirtz's camp willing to push it, and is he happy to make a move elsewhere? If Bayern Munich's his first choice team and that's a team that he wants to join, then I feel like a decision needs to be made on that sooner rather than later, because at the moment Manchester City, Liverpool, everybody else, Real Madrid, I feel like they're all just being strung along by what's happening with this Bayern Munich transfer. And I feel like Man City's stance here would probably be to do exactly what Liverpool are doing, which is to say through their sources that they're not interested in a transfer unless the player decides he doesn't want to join Bayern Munich. So we need that information to be released. Not, oh, there's a chance he might not join Bayern Munich. I'm talking about the deal's dead in the water. The deal's not going to happen, because it's important that City don't waste so much time on this transfer this summer that they miss out on other targets. And we have done that when it comes to sagas, where we wait weeks and weeks and weeks, and all of a sudden, you know, we speak about this through the rest of May and all through June. We get to July and then we're thinking, well, where's this midfielder? Who are we signing? Who are we bringing in? What are we doing? It's exactly what happened with Bruno Guimaraes last summer. Man City way too hesitant to decide what the facts are. Get the facts now, and if you feel like he's going to be joining Bayern Munich, then distance yourself through Man City's sources and say, you know, we're not interested. Get Jack Gohan or Sam Lee or Martin Blackburn, one of the reliable City sources, just to say, we're done and dusted. This transfer isn't going to happen to Man City. Stop using our name to try and get a better deal for Florian Wirtz, or a better deal for Bayer Leverkusen, or a better deal for Bayern Munich. Now, this smells of either Florian Wirtz's camp or Bayern Munich's camp that's pulling all of this. Bayer Leverkusen have a very good working relationship with Manchester City and with Liverpool as well, so I can't imagine it's coming from their end. But Florian Wirtz's camp, maybe. Bayern Munich camp, maybe. Maybe it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but I have my doubts about this transfer. Anyway, Pep Guardiola, he was asked earlier on today, ahead of the FA Cup final, Man City taking on Crystal Palace at Wembley tomorrow in the FA Cup final, which is where the club's focus has to be right now. He was asked about Florian Wirtz. Stupid question for someone in the press to be asking Pep Guardiola, who's always going to give the professional standard response here, which is, I'm not going to speak about any player who isn't a player for my club. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about Florian Wirtz and the situation in the comments. What do you think is going to happen? I was very optimistic at the beginning of the week. Last week I was very pessimistic, and by the time we've got to the end of this week, I'm back to being pretty pessimistic. I keep putting percentages onto this one, and the more I read about this transfer, the more I hear about things, and Liverpool being ahead, when, what does that even mean anymore? To me, everything just seems to be pointing towards Bayern Munich and the players staying in Germany, and Bayern Munich trying to not not pay top dollar to sign Florian Wirtz, and Florian Wirtz's camp trying to get the very best deal out of Bayern Munich, and eventually something will give and the agreement will be found, is what I think will happen. And I'd be surprised if he did end up leaving Germany and signing for another team, whether that be Liverpool, Man City, Real Madrid or somebody else. As I said, I won't be surprised in the next couple of days to start to see some of the other teams' names being put out there: PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal, etc, etc. So yeah, Man United as well. We'll see. Anyway, moving on, we've got a big update on Tijjani Reijnders over at AC Milan. Now, Fabrizio Romano has said that Manchester City are going to be launching a bid for the soon-to-be 27-year-old Dutch central midfielder from AC Milan in the coming days. That opening offer is believed to be in total worth €50 million. We're looking in today's currency exchange rate at £42.07 million. AC Milan are holding out for a club record fee, so we are looking at around 50 to 60 million pounds, 55, 60 million euros, maybe a little bit more, give or take a couple of million here and there. But negotiations are going to be underway very soon, because I don't expect that first offer to be accepted. And when Man City are putting in official bids, it tells me that it's not Chicky doing this negotiation. It tells me that Hugo Viana is doing it, because his stance is a little different to Chicky. Chicky tends to get all the facts and information and tends to be quite clinical in putting in the first and only bid which would be accepted once he's got all the facts, whereas Hugo Viana chances his arm a little bit more, chucks in a bid to see what happens, see where the negotiations are at, and also sees what the official word is coming in from the club of these players that they play for. So obviously seeing what the stance is coming in from AC Milan, rather than the agent doing all the chasing when it comes to transfers, which is what Chicky tends to do. So Hugo Viana, I think, likes to just do his own work here. So this very much suggesting, and Fabrizio Romano has confirmed today, this is a Hugo Viana transfer rather than a Chicky transfer. Hugo Viana believes that Tijjani Reijnders is the perfect number 8 for Manchester City and Pep Guardiola. Manchester City, of course, looking to overhaul their midfield this summer, and depending on who leaves, I'm expecting City to add at least 2 new central midfielders this summer. We could see potentially City bringing in as many as 4 or 5 central midfielders. I don't think it's going to be 4 or 5 central midfielders, but I certainly reckon it'll be 2, maybe 3 central midfielders. We know Tijjani Reijnders is very much a player of interest, Morgan Gibbs-White as well. What's going to happen elsewhere remains to be seen. Florian Wirtz's name out there, but I have my suspicions. I think he's off to Bayern Munich. So it all depends on what happens with the other players. We know that Kevin De Bruyne is going to leave. We know Calvin Phillips will be leaving this summer. Kyle Walker will be leaving this summer. So we do face a homegrown problem, hence the links with Morgan Gibbs-White, but we still have some question marks over İlkay Gundogan, despite him signing that contract extension. There's no guarantees that he will still be a Man City player past this summer, in particular with interest coming in from Turkey. There's still Saudi Arabian interest in Mateo Kovacic, and there's still interest coming in from Portugal in Bernardo Silva. So all things that City need to be thinking about over the coming weeks, and making sure we're getting clarification about what the players are looking for throughout the rest of May and into June, before the players head away on their holidays after the international break. And of course City will get the players back for the Club World Cup. So going to be a really busy summer. So as I said at the beginning of the video, you guys want to stay up to date. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. It's the easiest way to do that. Stay up to date with all the latest City transfer news every single day this summer on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. It is free. Don't forget social media links. They're in the description. If you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up on the video. 700 likes is the aim. And also don't forget as well to leave your thoughts in the comments below. And I'll see you all again real soon for the next Manchester City video. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.